In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a complete dish with pulled oats using a sticky wet marinade and some sesame oil. In previous videos, I have shown you now how to make the pulled oats using oil and dry spice and also using a wet marinade like the barbecue. One thing I would like you to keep in mind, I showed you now these in a skillet in the heating method, but the same methods apply and can be used if you're using the oven, heating it to 350 Fahrenheit, cooking it for 8 to 10 minutes, depending on your amount of course, but if you're just using a small amount, 8 minutes, heat it at 350 and it's ready to use the same way. The same goes if you're going to microwave it, not 350 Fahrenheit, but just put on max heat for 30 to 45 seconds. It can be covered or uncovered. Because it's such a short amount of time, it doesn't really matter about the steaming in that sense. And then lastly, also you can go into sous vide. If you're using that method inside your restaurant or in your cooking methods, then simply add the wet marinade or oil and dry spice, give it a good mix, and heat it as you would normally in the method for that. So I hope you'll keep that in mind and remember that when you are trying and experimenting with the pulled oats. But now going straight into this, I'm going to give you the easiness and quickness of making a full meal using the pulled oats. So first thing I'm doing is heating up the pan to a high heat. While it's warming, I'm going to just take a generous amount of sesame oil. And this one, different in how I previously did with the oil and dry spice, I'm going to let this heat up and add some fresh ginger into this. Because the reason for this is, yes, it's absorbing all the flavors and the oil straight when you put the pulled oats in, but I also want to get some flavor into the pulled oats through the ginger. So now it's not steaming hot yet, but it's warm enough to add some fresh ginger in there and just let it sizzle and heat up a little bit there. You see that? And straight away you can smell the flavor of the ginger coming out into the oil. And that's ready. So I'm going to next just take some of the pulled oats, add it straight into there. And just let it sit for a minute, throw a little bit of sesame seeds in there. And now what this is doing is absorbing all the oil with the ginger flavor inside of it and getting a nice crispy bottom. And here I just have some teriyaki sauce and a little bit of sweet chili. And I'm just going to give it a nice, generous amount there. And then give a good stir and a mix there. Now the texture of this is going to be slightly different than when we just used the wet marinade because there's a lot more oil in this, so it gives still the nice soft texture to it, but it's also going to be giving a little bit of a crisp now because of that oil initially first. Right, so at this point it's actually right now I'm going to just take some fresh vegetables here, just a mixture. I have some snow peas, carrots, paprika, whatever you feel like adding into there, feel free to do that. And then here we just have some egg noodles. And let's give that a nice quick mix there. And again, the pulled oats, they are cooked, so I didn't have to fry them that long. Now I'm just going to get the vegetables, a little bit of the flavor from the sauce and also the noodles to heat them through. If you prefer your vegetables to be a little bit softer, then you can always blanch them beforehand before adding them in. I always like to have a little bit of crunch to it, so I just left them as they are. Then I'm just going to finish off with a little bit of coriander and some celery to get that crunch in there as well. A little bit more sesame seeds. And some fresh chili and ginger. And there you go. You have a dish in less than 2 minutes that's ready to serve, and anybody will be happy to eat that, and it is just as tasty as it looks. I hope this has been helpful and informative for you, and thank you for joining.